This video was my mom's idea. Hi everyone, it's Emma. Today I'm talking about 5 of my favorite things that are on the internet at the moment. I just thought it would be fun to talk about some of the things that I've been consuming as a viewer, as someone on the other side of it. This is one of the reasons that I keep my likes public on YouTube. I don't know if any of y'all have noticed, but if you want to see the YouTube videos that I've been loving recently, you can always go check out my likes. They will be a mix of all things like beauty, booktube, probably some K-pop crack videos. It's a whole mix in there of all the things that I love. So anyways, today I just thought that I would talk about 5 things on the interwebs that I've been loving. Loving. Not mildly interested in, but my faves. The first one I mentioned ever so briefly in another video, and it is webcomics. I have had the app Webtoon on my phone for a very long time because I loved the webcomic Cheese in the Trap. This was a K-drama based on this webcomic, and when I finished the K-drama, I was not very satisfied, and so I talked about it on my channel, and a bunch of you guys were like, you should read the webcomic because it's so much better than the K-drama, and y'all were right. And I've continued to keep up with that webcomic. However, that was the only one that I read. And I had kind of gotten behind for a couple weeks. It's released every Sunday, so I wasn't reading it as it was released. And then recently I just randomly got the urge to catch up on the chapters that I missed. So I did. I did that. And I loved it so much that it made me curious what other webcomics are on there. And then I realized that some graphic novels that I've read, for example, Space Boy, are actually webcomics, and if they get popular enough, sometimes they'll publish them in physical form. So I started reading a lot of webcomics. I will tell you the ones that I am most in love with at the moment, but this has been my recent obsession, has been reading webcomics. I love one called True Beauty. It's basically about a girl who has skin problems, has frizzy hair or something. Because people treat her a certain way because of her appearance, she gets really, really good at makeup, and she does her makeup in such a way that she becomes the beautiful girl. Everyone looks at her and says wow, you're so beautiful. But she goes home and she takes it all off and has some skin issues and that kind of thing. Obviously, it's all commentary about true beauty. That's why it's called True Beauty. I love it. Also, one of the storylines has to do with K-pop idols. I'm not sure exactly where it's going yet because I'm caught up in that one and they haven't fully explored it. But I think 2 of the guys either used to be idol trainees or something, and then she also worked on the set of this show for idol trainees and did makeup for one of the guys and became friends with this idol trainee, and he's friends with these other guys. Anyways, it has to do with idol culture. My other favorite is called Let's Play. It is about a famous YouTuber who reviews a video game maker's video game, but he plays it totally wrong. He gives it a negative review. So his fans kind of go after her on the site where her game was posted and basically ruin her career. So she, of course, hates this YouTuber guy. And then, coincidentally, he moves in next door. It's great. I love it. I think one of the reasons I love it is because a couple of the characters are YouTubers, and in general with webcomics, a lot of times there are internet star type main characters. For example, my current favorite that I'm still currently reading, I'm not caught up yet, is called Age Matters, and it's about this guy who invents an app called Lime, which is obviously based on Line. And he's really young, 23 or something like that, and a millionaire because he invented this crazy successful app, but he's not very good at social stuff, and he obviously has some issues with relationships, although I'm not sure exactly what they are yet. And this girl has a grudge against him because her ex-boyfriend broke up with her over the app, and then she through circumstances starts working for him without even really realizing it. So you can probably tell that they are tropey in the best possible sense. None of the ones that I've read have been really cringy or cheesy at all, but they have those tropes oh, and then they move in next door to each other. And it's just the best. I just love it. Obviously, one of my faves is Save Me, which is the BTS webcomic. I was wildly excited when this was announced because I had literally just started reading all these webcomics and was totally into it, and then I got a notification that was BTS webcomic on Webtoon. If you don't know, this is based around the concept that BTS has starting way back in one of their older eras and then kind of going all the way through till like the Love Yourself era. Me and many other armies have spent a lot of time trying to like decipher this storyline through all their music videos and their promo videos and everything, and so now BTS has collaborated with webtoon and an artist who is drawing this webcomic to actually like explain all the questions that we've had for so long. So obviously that is one of my faves. If you also read webcomics, I would love to have suggestions. I like the cutesier ones, like drama, romance. If they were manga, they'd be classified shoujo. Those are my faves, so don't be recommending me some horror ones or anything. My next internet favorite thing at the moment is a YouTuber, and it is Edward Avila. He is an Asian American YouTuber who lives in Korea, and I've been following him for a while now, but for some reason recently I just had like a new burst of love for his videos. I think that they're really interesting to watch because he is mostly a K-beauty makeup channel, and I love that. I love K-beauty more than like the Western makeup trends most of the time. But I also think he has a really interesting perspective because he is an Asian American living in Korea, and he has lived in Korea for a while, and he does like collab and is kind of a part of the whole idol culture. So he actually has experienced like what it's like in real life. So he makes some really interesting videos. For example, he made a video about the whole Idan and Hyuna dating thing, which explained so much to me because I don't understand the culture a lot of the time because I've never been to Korea and I'm not involved in like the idol culture at all. So he brings it to like a real life level that I really like and I think is really interesting. He's also just really funny, and like his editing style is so not like mine. As a consumer, I do tend to like watching YouTubers who edit very differently than me or like have a different sense of humor. So yeah, I also just love his makeup style. It's very in line with what I like for my makeup. My favorite videos of his are usually the ones that he does where he's like doing another person's makeup because he's so good at just making people look naturally pretty, which again, that's like what I want for makeup. I don't want it to change how I look too much. So all of these things that I'm talking about will be linked down below, by the way. My next favorite is also kind of a YouTube thing. It is the fact that the K-pop group NCT has many YouTube channels. NCT has become my second favorite group. One of the reasons is because they do these really unique things like this. For example, they basically have a vlog channel. My favorite videos are the ones that the member Johnny does. Like for example, he did an IKEA vlog, which my IKEA/moving vlog was based on that video. Like it was so inspiring to me that I decided to do a version of my own. He also like did a We Go Buy Our Own Album kind of vlog, and they're just really fun to watch. They're usually like half in English, half in Korean because Johnny was born in Chicago, so he does speak English. I think English was his first language, but it's also just cool to see K-pop idols vlogging because it's so personal and it's so like daily life. And I also think it's interesting that like some of the members who are really good performers are not necessarily really good vloggers. Like it's a different skill set. My faves are definitely the ones that Johnny does, and Johnny and Jaehyun. It's just cool to see them vlogging. Like I would love to collab. I feel like that would just be the dream. How many have I done so far? Was that 3? My next internet favorite, I think I've mentioned on my channel before, but there's a podcast that I love called the Popcast. Basically, they cover anything that is considered pop culture. Now, I don't really follow up with pop culture. It is not something that I pay much attention to. My friends are often amazed when I like know absolutely nothing about certain things from pop culture. But the hosts of this podcast, Knox and Jamie, are just so funny. Like they are just so funny. They're very unapologetic and they just like make fun of people, but specifically what I love is the episodes that they do on The Bachelor. You have to support them on Patreon to get these episodes. It's like an extra content thing that they put out for people who support them on Patreon. And I don't even watch the show The Bachelor. It is just so funny to listen to them recap each episode of The Bachelor every week. Because of what I said, how they're so unapologetic, listening to them recap a show as ridiculous as The Bachelor is just so funny. It is the only thing that has ever made me like vaguely interested in watching The Bachelor, because I'm like, I want to know all the deets on like what they're talking about and like these people that they're talking about. So yeah, I've been listening to the recaps of the season that's like currently ongoing, even though I literally have watched none of the episodes. My last internet favorite is not really a new thing, but I'll explain why it's a current favorite after I say what it is. It is the lyrics video for RM's song Soul. I have always loved this lyrics video. I think it is so aesthetic. It's just so pretty. I love this mixtape mono. I listen to it all the time, but I have had a renewed surge of love for it since I moved to New York, and especially this lyrics video, because the song is basically like a love-hate song written to the city Seoul, and I feel like it is just exactly what it feels like to live in New York. Like the way that he writes about living in Seoul, I just relate to it very much now that I live in New York. I also just really like visually the video. He just takes clips of different things that kind of like characterize the city. He does these plays with the lyrics like I'm living in you, I'm leaving you, and it's just very clever. Honestly, this whole mixtape is something that I've been listening to a lot while I walk around the city. It just fits the feel of living in a city so well. Like if you want to know what it feels like to live in New York or live in a big city like this, just watch the lyrics video. I feel like it captures it so well. Although I love New York a bit more because the song is a little like love-hate relationship, but that's just the reality of living in a city like this. It's kind of hard. Even if you love it, it's just hard. So those are my 5 favorite things on the internet at the moment. Comment down below what your 5 favorite things on the internet are. It could be an Instagram account, or something on Tumblr, or a YouTuber that you love, or a webcomic that you're reading. I would love to hear what you guys are loving at the moment. I really tried not to make all of these K-pop related because it would be so easy to just be like, I really love those compilation videos of Namjoon being done with BTS's English, because they're funny. But yeah, I tried not to do that. I hope that you have a lovely day or night or afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, and I will see you in my next video. See you tomorrow, guys.